Eric Mwather, Mwather.com. I trust everybody's having a great weekend, and I'm just gonna go straight and spend some time on the ideas that I think could work in this market. First thing I'm gonna do here and just go to the GLD trade. Here, we are seeing that here with about 10 minutes to go before the close of Friday's session. It looks like it is holding, turning positive for the week, which is encouraging for bulls. Keep in mind that if we take a look also at the GLD monthly, here we are seeing that it is refusing as of right now to go below 50, and also has a chance of breaking out, and in the probably sometime next week I might give you the buy point here, but it's this recent monthly closing high. So the GLD right now looks like it might be setting up to break out. A breakout would be absolutely fantastic for gold bulls. That's the setup for now. We've only had 2 trading sessions for the month of September, so let's kind of a little bit not be too overconfident that this breakout will take place. If you take a look also at the daily, we talked about the potential for finding support on this RSI lows line. Right now we can see very good support on this line. So GLD doing its best to correct itself after a recent pullback. Now the only little problem here is if you take a look at the hourly charts and all that. For example, if you go to the hourly charts, we had insisted that we see that it move above this line of resistance. We can, I guess I had drawn the most recent line here. We were insisting that it is above this line. It is above that line. That's good. Now there's something I see with most of the metals ETFs that we track, and a little bit of a question mark as to whether they are actually moving higher. We can see that this recent break in the RSI here might be what is being tested. Okay, in fact you see this a little bit better on the GDX. In other words, what I'm saying is don't be too surprised if this doesn't work out. For the GDX, you can see that it is coming back to test this recent break around the 50, and of course this break around the 50, the break there, let me pick the right color. So the break there corresponds with the movement off the highs, and we are back to test that level. So this chart by itself suggests to me that if we cannot move above this line here, we might actually be seeing that the next swing trade for the gold complex and the metals and the miners is lower. So in other words, just make sure you understand that just because something looks like it is gonna be moving in one direction, sometimes the small time frame can kill the momentum. In other words, just make sure you have some type of a protective strategy if the ideas mentioned here don't work. Additionally, on the GDX, the mining ETF, take the highs, RSI highs, draw a line, and you see that they are coming back to test the top of that line there. So hour to hour, I will not be surprised that around here they stall. Now, even though I said that they could stall, just we have to be very aware that they could actually be breaking out. So what I'm gonna do, the best thing I can do for you guys is to give you ideas that could work out if there is truly a trade here. So I'm gonna go to the breakout ideas. EXK is right now moving above the recent 2016 monthly closing high. In other words, it is breaking out. As long as the stock defends 4.85, this is a good buy. So right now it is above that level, so it's breaking out on its monthly chart. RSI is doing its best also to maintain highs here by moving to 3-year highs. Also, you'd like to see the MACDs stay where they are and move higher, which is at 3-year high. So minimum requirements here definitely met by this instrument. Looks good. All we need to demand here is that the stock stay above 4.85. The other one is SAND, or ticker symbol is SAND, and here we can see that it is breaking out above the recent monthly closing high. So that's a fresh breakout. It needs to stay above that price range of 5.68. Anything above that, and this one might have a chance of moving higher. As you can see, we are looking at MACDs and also at the RSI. Just like the previous stock, the chance for the stock here also to move above 61.8 for the first time in more than 3 years is absolutely giving it an opportunity of moving higher. So here we can see price 3-year highs, an opportunity of moving above 61.8 is a major deal, and we can see that the MACDs broke out many months ago and continue to trade well. In fact, the main MACD just now pushing above zero. So if gold is to be stable, if gold is to creep to the upside, here's an instrument that could go on to record a nice move in the coming months. The other one is NGD, and NGD here also has a chance, and here you can see the opportunity to break out on the monthly. But before we do that, the price we need to watch here is the stock needs to stay above the current and recent confirmed monthly closing high of 5.20. So let's say you buy this, you have to insist that it stays above 5.20, because if it turns red for the month, that's not gonna be a good sign. Here again we see a chance of eventually moving above 61.8 and also staging a move to 3-year highs. That's absolutely what you want. Meets the minimum requirement there by a mile, if not by many miles. Here we can see move to 3-year highs on the MACDs, and also the main MACD just now recapturing the level above zero for the first time in more than 3 years. So it looks fantastic in terms of minimum requirement. Take a look at another, and I have to say you can pick any of these names, really no problem in terms of the setup. Here is a FMSA with a chance of breaking out above the recent monthly closing high. It needs to be above 7.71. It is trading at 7.84. The opportunity here is price breakout, RSI breaks out to 3-year highs, and also a chance of moving above 50 on the monthly. RSI is bullish if it can do that. MACDs are trading at 3-year highs. As you can see here, this fully developed MACD is at 3-year high. So just needs to stay above 7.71. Take a look at another, and again, probably too many. You can pick one. Pick the ones that are already broken out. Here, this is a future breakout, so you can put this on your watch list. Don't buy this until you see the stock move above the recent monthly closing high of 14.65. So of all the stocks I've mentioned here, the first three with a chance of moving above 61.8, take any of those three, and they have the best setup in terms of potential for momentum. And all this assumes that gold continues moving higher. The next ideas are general market ideas. We begin with MGT as a future potential breakout. Here is the buy point. We've been waiting for this thing to potentially break out. We haven't seen the breakout, but that doesn't mean that we forget about it. Keep in mind, what we want to see here is a movement above the recent monthly closing high of 3.84, so 82. So don't buy this until you see it break out above 3.82. The other one is another name that I've been mentioning. Just want to sensitize you to the idea that it could actually be setting up to break out, and here the buy point. So don't buy this until it breaks out above the recent monthly closing high. The level to watch here is for a breakout above 13.41. I like it because here a breakout would move the RSI to 3-year highs, and also the chance for the RSI to move above 50 for the first time ever. That would step up the acceleration to the upside, and MACDs are trading at 3-year highs, so definitely it does meet our minimum requirements. The last one is SBS, and I don't mean it's BS, I mean SBS, the ticker symbol. Now that's funny. Anyway, so here we see the chance of breaking out above the recent monthly close. In fact, as of Friday, it is doing its best to hold above that level. This thing is a buy as long as it can hold above 9.44, which is the recent monthly closing high. RSI here has a chance of moving to 3-year highs, which is what you want to see. And also we can confirm that the MACDs meet our minimum requirement. MACDs above 3-year highs, and so minimum requirements met by the MACDs and the RSI. All we need is price to stay above 9.44. And just one quick mention of ANET, which was a previous pick. We can see that it is pushing above the breakout level there of 77.84. 77.84 was our buy point. The reason why I keep bringing this up is because if you take a look at the technicals, you can see that they are absolutely look good. Keep in mind, you don't have to own all of these ideas. Diversify as best as you can by holding different sectors. Here, a chance of moving to 3-year highs. We can see that the MACDs are already trading at 3-year highs, so it looks good in terms of meeting the minimum requirements. It's a little bit extended from our buy point at 77.84, in fact, but if you take a look at that and give it a room of 5%, you can see that it is not yet past the 5% window. So 81.73 might be the 5% window to buy. So this is how markets are setting up to close for the week. As you can see here, with about, let's call it 20 seconds before the market close, some of the stocks closing well. The ones we discussed, for example, this one, EXK, pushing higher. We shall see how things set up for the next week. Again, lots of ideas shared in this video. The key here also is for the previous stock. Let me just go back to that mention here. As long as there's your market closing for Friday session, September 2nd, 2016. I was talking about the fact that the stock is within the 5% window from its ideal entry level. So I'm talking about here that you want to give the stocks about a 5% window from the breakout. About 5% would be somewhere there. Buying it anywhere within this 5% of the breakout is reasonable place to enter. So it looks good in my opinion. And just to summarize here, this is how markets closed at the end of Friday. We shall see how things go. Let's see whether the next couple of weeks are going to see the market recording new highs or not. We shall see. Otherwise, I wanted to spend more time giving you guys actionable ideas that maybe if the market stays stable, if gold stays stable, some of these stocks are going to take off. And that's what we want. Eric Mwathe, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great week ahead. Peace and blessings, blessings, blessings. Riches, blessings. Riches, blessings, blessings, blessings. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Yes.